welcome to Never Park the Bus fan page. This is the Tottenham Hotspur fan page. Reaction to the Spurs versus Sheffield United game that we've just witnessed. Although you'll feel it wasn't much of a game, Adrian.
Yeah, definitely witnessed something, mate. It was a murder, I think. Yeah, no, not the best Spurs performance I've seen in my lifetime.
Okay, what are your thoughts? I mean, give us your rundown of where did it all go wrong tonight.
All right. Well, it's been going wrong since Jose came, more or less. Apart from obviously the little romance bit you get at the beginning, which is great, but it seems obvious that he's trying to play a style that only top players can really perform in. And when you see the players we're rolling out at the moment, it's a long way away from even what we had a few years ago, let alone to what he's used to.
But
so
a lot of those players
go on.
A lot of those players are the same. You got, Lloris is the same. I know they didn't play tonight, but you got Toby and Jan. You got Ben Davies.
Bro, none of these, bro. We could roll out a different team to what we saw tonight, right? A team that was actually full of quite a lot of decent players. You could be talking about having Jan and Toby at the back starting, which we didn't have tonight, right? You're talking about having Danny Rose and Carl Walker fitting in four. We're talking about having Moussa Dembele, Dele Alli, Christian Eriksen, Harry Kane. This is a very, very, very different team. So I said, this is a very different team to what we've got now. Very different. And we're seeing the fruits of that. And I think the problem with Jose is he's trying to play with a team that, I mean, how many times have we lost a game or drawn a game due to individual errors during his reign? The setup's fine, the tactics are fine, everything's doing well, and then someone just makes the worst error. And that's how we're coming apart almost every single game. Today, it was weird because we had that goal disallowed that is just ruining football, right? And then beyond that, the defending was again bad, but the game should have taken a different turn. And you can see how badly it affected the players. That's partly down to Jose as well.
So this is a question then, as a football man. Can you really say that one decision, I know everyone's upset about it and everyone's got their opinion on it and everything, and we'll get to that, but should one decision then, where, yes, it would have had us right back in the game, but we were playing quite well at that stage. I mean, their goal, I felt, come against the run of play. Should that really go on to affect and you end up with a 3-0? I mean, the second and third goal were...
Or a 3-1.
...difficult to defend. 3-1.
Well, yeah, this is the thing, like, I mean, they're only humans, right? They're not robots, and different decisions have different effects on different parts of the game, and every game has a different flow. You can see it, right, as a fan watching the game. And it was clearly the run of play was with us when we were in control. Even though we were away from home, we were in control. We were having the ball. We were feeding out a little bit for a chance here and there. Their goal came against the run of play, and then our goal was disallowed when we tried to react quickly, and that really affected the players. And then their next goals were just kind of symptoms of a lot of things, being that we were behind and we've got a crap defence. And you could see the second and third goals were just awful. Like, really, no one fighting for anything. And you'd argue that's probably down to Jose as well, but he's come in a quarter of the way through a season. He's then had this COVID thing to deal with. So the idea of him impressing his style on anything, I think, is a bit hard to achieve, really. It took Klopp 4 years to get anything. It took Fergie 4 years to get anything. We've got Jose on a 5-year deal. So I'm not going to get upset about what I've seen tonight. The last game we were playing happily well and tucking it in, no big deal, right? A couple of things went against us tonight, and the defending. I mean, starting Dyer and Sanchez, it's never going to work well for any club in history. Aurier is a bad egg, let alone a bad player. And Sissoko is this weird thing where, like, he incredibly strong in the middle, but just can't play football, man. Like, it's that bad. So there's a lot of players that snuck into this team and started starting that just wouldn't have got a sniff a few years ago. Obviously we didn't invest for, 2 windows, 3? And we're seeing the fruit of that now, right?
When we got more, and then there was 2 windows where we didn't get anyone,
right? And all we did buy was Sanchez, and he's clearly not the best thing you can spend your defensive money on, right? So, Tanganga and Foyth are injured, that's not helping, but in reality, we haven't got a strong defence at the moment as well. And we didn't invest for that period of time. Obviously, Vertonghen and Toby and all them get older and move on. We should have had those replacements come in. We didn't. We're now suffering the effects of that. These players often take sort of 18 months to bed in anyway, and that's when these players would have been performing now for us, and we simply don't have that. So we're definitely suffering from that as well. But that's just a symptom of having that stadium. just the way it goes.
Fair enough. So I've got 2 more questions for you. First one, because I think it'll be the shorter answer. Where realistically can Spurs finish this season now?
Do you know what? We've got some top performers like Harry Kane, so we're always able to win a game. But I mean, you're old enough and ugly enough now, right? You know what it's like. Being a Spurs fan back in the day, 15, well, even I'd say 10 years ago, the last 10 games of the season were a struggle because we had not a lot we were playing for. Now, if we get to that point, because I mean, some of the play that was going on today was clearly motivated by that, right? If we get to that point where we're not playing for anything again, it's going to be a tough last few games. So we're clearly not getting fourth, not by any kind of strength of the imagination. At that point, do we want Europa? What's Europe going to look like in September? Because European games are meant to start in July, August.
Yeah.
Right, we're in July. So what's next year's competition going to look like anyway? Is it actually something that not the worst time to miss it, considering how much it helps the league form?
Either straight knockout or only playing each other once in the group stages. We don't have the home and away form.
Right, are they going to play on FIFA?
Would you not take Europa with the knowledge that actually you've got, for the Europa League, a decent squad going in there, and Jose Mourinho, a manager that's won it and knows how to set up and play well in Europe, and you'd have a decent chance of winning it? Would you not take that? Would you prefer not to have Europe and make a real go getting back in the Champions League?
I don't know what I prefer, because we haven't got a big squad and we're not likely to buy a lot. So just having that one game a week, you can see the difference it makes for teams like Leicester and so on.
Yeah.
The only other thing, though, is that I did enjoy the Europa journeys under Poch, because it was very useful for kind of unearthing our talent. Like, we were playing a B team in Europa and you could see some real talent. It actually gives them a competitive game. So I like the Europa for that. It does give a competitive game to a lot of the reserves. And that brought a lot of players through. It made a bit of competition in the league team as well. So, the reality is we don't really have a team big enough or good enough to fight for champs and the league, right? So do we just go for the league and enjoy trying to fight for that? Or do we enjoy having Europa as well and blooding in youngsters? I mean, I'm kind of happy with either, but we're clearly not at the point now where we can fight for the league and the champs. My guess is that Jose wants to build up a new defence, and that isn't going to happen in a hurry.
Fair enough. Last point then, that decision tonight. I mean, the rule is the rule. And if it hits your hand, it's got to be stopped. But
was that always the rule in football? I'm not that clever. Like, was it always the rule in football that if the ball accidentally hits the hand in the build-up?
It was a rule that was brought in this year to try and clear up the handball, because it was always, was it accidental, wasn't it? It was interpretation.
Well, that's the point. So that's the thing. It feels like the rule is bad enough, let alone the fact that they're using it in VAR. So yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I've been talking about this a bit with anyone who'll listen to me, poor fuckers. And I don't know.
Do you think it hit his arm?
Well, yeah, I mean, we saw it hit his arm. We don't need to debate that. The point is, how relevant was that to what we saw happen? I don't know. I thought VAR was going to come in to help clear a few things up, right?
Yeah.
And suddenly, I was talking to my missus about it at dinner, like, you're not allowed to celebrate a goal now. You can't. Like, imagine the energy 5 years ago when they banged in a goal. You celebrate it. You saw what happened. It's a goal, right? There's no dodgy play in the build-up. It's a goal. You can celebrate it. No. Now, you'd be a monk to celebrate a goal. And if that isn't killing the experience in a stadium and for people watching at home, then I don't know what is. So I don't know how long they're going to keep on with this for, because if you start thinking back now, okay, if we think back to the last 20 years of football, how many matches were ruined by a bad decision?
Yeah.
How many in 20 years? I can't think of many.
I can think of one at Old Trafford.
Right? And that, do you know what I mean? But that's that in 20 years. We're getting like every game affected by it now. So tell me how that's better. No, they've got it completely weirdly wrong. And it's like watching law school now. Oh, that's the law. I'm just, man, what are you talking about? I don't want laws. I want a game that's managed well. So, yeah, a lot of things are wrong with VAR. I don't want to go on about that. We'll be on about it all night, mate. But I hope they use it. I mean, goal line technology seemed to be enough, to be honest. And then they got that wrong the other day. But goal line tech seemed good enough. Just bringing that in just to, cover some of the big ones. Like, was it actually a goal?
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Well, look, thank you for your time. Everton on Monday. So hopefully we'll be speaking again then. And
big W. Yeah.
I've got a few Everton, mate. So I'm hoping so.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be awesome, mate.
Yeah. All right, pal. Good talking to
Cheers,
you.
bro.
Take care.
Catch you soon, man.
We're ready for the champagne, baby. We're ready for the